when they laughed at you, I was laughing too. I hated you, and Lord, I took the gift she gave to me. I took credit for them freely. Hey, look at me. You gave so much. You gave so much. Lord, death was all around me. The best thing seemed to be to start killing me. And Lord, I never knew what you say is true. I was killing you. You gave so much. You gave so much. Lord, I slept in slime, abusing that which was not mine. That was my crime. And Lord, now it's so clear. You were always near, always here. You gave so much, yet you couldn't take away. Even though your sheep had gone astray, you always knew that there would come a day. You gave so much, yet you couldn't take away. Even though your sheep had gone astray, you always knew that there would come a day when I'd say, Lord, hey, show me the way. I waited patiently for the Lord, and He heard my cry. He brought me up out of the pit and established my steps. I waited patiently for the Lord, and He heard my cry. He brought me up out of the pit and established my steps. He put a new song in my mouth. Praise to our God. Many will see it and fear, and will trust in the Lord. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not respect the proud, nor turn aside to lies. Many, Lord, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts which are toward us, they cannot be recounted. Many, Lord, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts which are toward us, they cannot be recounted to you in order. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Unclean! You know, I've never done that. I've never done that at a show. I did it on the record. I never got to do it at a show. I want to try it again. Unclean! Try it. Unclean. So two people do it. This is my set list. I don't have sound all of a sudden. Oh, I lost my cord. It's a God-given rule that if you keep playing with it, eventually it breaks. Good evening, I'm Paisley Yankolovich. And you are?
Jeff.
Gosh.
Don't have a clue.
Thought I had an audience. Is this an oil painting? Sorry. But I meant it. When Jesus came down from the mountain, behold, there came a leper that worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou can make me clean. And Jesus stretched forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy was cleansed. Immediately the leprosy was cleansed. I can see your sin from here, covering your skin like liquid shame, sweat oozing from your pores for fear, afraid someone will call your name. What if someone finds you out, that you're not what you claim to be about? What if someone finds you out, that you're not what you claim to be about? And you're unclean. You're unclean. You and your friend could be twins. In fact, everyone in the world is guilty. Imagine exposing all your sins. I can tell you right now that it wouldn't be pretty. Whoever touched your hand, that's where the line is drawn in the sand. Who would ever touch your hand? That's where the line is drawn in the sand. When you're unclean, you're unclean. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only sons and daughters. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only sons and daughters. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only
Sons and daughters.
whose the master of your failure? Pray tell, is it one who can forgive? Or are you listening to another sinner without the knowledge how to live? Who is that beating your brow? And what does God think about them now? Who is that beating your brow? What does God think about them now? Telling you that you're unclean. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only sons and daughters. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only sons and daughters. In Jesus' eyes there are no lepers. We are only. These signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. Because after all is said and done, the victory's already won. After all is said and done, the victory's already won. You're not unclean. We're not unclean. Where there is one person, there is hope for change. Where there is life, there is hope for change. Where there is one church, there is hope for change. There is hope. Our hope is Jesus, and without Him there would be no hope. There is hope. Our hope is Jesus, and without Him there would be no hope. Where there is the old, the young have the hope to survive the rough times. Where two or more are gathered in His name, there is hope to survive the rough times. There is hope. Our hope is Jesus, and without Him there would be no hope. There is hope. Our hope is Jesus, yes, and without Him there would be no hope. Oh, see lonely faces. It makes my heart to burn. See empty, vacant eyes. Eyes have been crying. Tell them about Jesus. I'm too afraid right now. Trust me, they'll listen. Hearts have been opened. Heal these people. 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 We walk through fire, sometimes for others, and all our trials, some go unnoticed. And every Sunday we see our family hiding their sorrow in their best clothing. Heal these people. 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 Lord, tell your children how much you love them. Teach us to listen. Eyes must be open. Lord, tell your children how much you love them. Teach us to listen. Eyes must be open. Door closed in my face, dreams sad in my lap, my eyes clouded with tears. I could hear someone laughing, I could hear someone screaming, justify my fears. The pedestal for you is gone, and in the rubble I'm afraid, as isolation nears. Don't you know, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Wrapped around your finger so tight, it shouldn't hurt like this. Where is all the sweet, sweet joy? It shouldn't hurt like this. Back to the place where it never was. It shouldn't hurt like this. It shouldn't hurt like this. It shouldn't hurt like this. It shouldn't hurt. But Jesus, you step in, your warm embrace, and I give in a forward vision, some hope within, a healing time, and try again. Jesus, you step in, your warm embrace, and I give in a forward vision, some hope within, a heal inside, and I try again. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you why leave me alone? Am I not a good friend, or has my time just passed? I know what you were saying to anyone who's listening to make your hatred last. But now your memory is like a song once heard. It left my mind so fast. Don't you know you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this? Wrapped around your finger so tight, it shouldn't hurt like this. Where is all that sweet, sweet joy? Shouldn't hurt like this. Back to the place where it never was. It shouldn't hurt like this. It shouldn't hurt like this. It shouldn't hurt like this. It should hurt. Jesus, you step in your warm embrace, and I give in a forward vision, some hope within. I heal in time and try again. Jesus, you step in your warm embrace, and I give in. Don't you know, you almost had me convinced I shouldn't hurt like this. Wrapped around your finger so tight, it shouldn't hurt like this. Where is all that sweet, sweet joy? Shouldn't hurt like this. Back to the place where it never was. It shouldn't hurt like this. 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 It shouldn't hurt. Jesus, you step in your warm embrace, and I give in. Forward vision, some hope within. I heal in time and try again. Jesus, you step in your warm embrace, and I give in. Forward vision, some hope within. I heal in time and try again. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost had me convinced that it shouldn't hurt like this. Lord, you almost have me convinced. Now you can clap. Sad and happy, sad and hopeful.
Sad and hopeful.
Sad and just kind of hopeful.
No, it is hopeful.
I've got a body, I treat it as I should. Cause if I do for it does me real good. It tells me what it wants, I reach to satisfy. I don't have to worry, it controls my mind. And it's really hell when you're reaching for the heaven, and all you want to do is make yourself feel good. It's really hell when you're reaching for the heaven, and all you want to do is make yourself feel good. when I'm all alone. My body talks to me. If my stomach growls, it needs food to eat. I satisfy my hunger as fast as I can. What I can't reach with food, I reach some other way. And it's really hell when you're reaching for the heaven, and all you want to do is make yourself feel good. It's really hell when you're reaching for the heaven, and all you want to do is make yourself feel good. When this is all over, everything will know. As if I have a body to tell me where to go. When I face God, I said, when I face God, when I face God and tell him what I've done, I'm gonna say, gee, I was just having fun. And it's really hell. It's really hell when you're reaching for the heaven, and all you want to do is make yourself feel good. Ain't that the truth? And then I wonder why I went wireless. I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to feel abandoned. I know what it's like to hate myself. I know what it's like to cry myself to sleep. I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to feel abandoned. I know what it's like to hate myself. I know what it's like to cry myself to sleep. I know what it's like to not have enough food. And I know what it's like to not have a home. And I know what it's like to feel tired and weary. And I know what it's like to be stunned by God. Human love is a distant friend that tries to visit every once in a while. Verily, these are memory, but it is always on my mind. Human love is a distant friend that tries to visit every once in a while. Verily, these are memory, but it is always on my mind. It is always on my mind. I know what it's like to think I'm handsome. I know what it's like to think I'm ugly. I know what it's like to feel old and young. 'Cause I know what it's like to watch someone die. I know what it's like to watch my time escape me, 'cause I know what it's like to mistake lust for love. I know what it's like to feel tired and weary. And I know what it's like to be stunned by God. Human love is a distant friend that tries to visit every once in a while. It barely leaves a memory, but it is always on my mind. Human love is a distant friend that tries to visit every once in a while. It barely leaves a memory, but it is always on my mind. It is always, always on my mind. Thank God I have Jesus. 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 Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Whoa. Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to that tree? Were you there when they nailed him to that tree? Whoa. Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to that tree? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Whoa. Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when they laid him in that tomb? Were you there when they laid him in that tomb? Whoa. tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in that tomb? Were you there when he rose from the grave? Were you there when he rose from the grave? Whoa. Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he rose from the grave? When they laid him in that tomb? When the sun refused to shine? When they nailed him to that tree? When they crucified my Lord? Funny, I know these songs like the back of my hand, and now they're on them. And to say that this project is a vanity project compared to everything else I've done is kind of ironic, but I'm on the precipice of a 10-year anniversary of my music ministry, and I'm compiling stuff and finding demo tapes and all that stuff you do when you get all nostalgic and feel like you have to commemorate something. And in the end, I thought about it and I said, what I really want to do is I want to sing my first record, and just do that, and I just did, and it's not as easy as I thought. A lot changes in 10 years, and a lot of memories in 10 years. When I did it again, testing. Jerry. Wow. What's new? Hello. See, there's two J's I call on, Jesus and Jerry. Jerry, come. I played with my microphone. Okay, I'm not going to play. I didn't even know it had that. Do they all come with those on-off switches? I appreciate you guys coming out tonight and listening, and I appreciate my opening act who's not in the room, so I don't have to say anything nice. I'll say it later. And shame on you. But I set out to do the most audience-friendly, Christian-friendly, nice thing I could do. And when I recorded those 9 songs, and the 10th song I'm going to do is my last song, I picked from thousands of songs that I had to choose from that I had written over the years, and this was like my tapestry. It was supposed to be like my 10 most likable songs, and I was such a normal, unpretentious, and average kind of fellow back then, and everybody in Christianity treated me like I was Marilyn Manson or something, and I was so well behaved. If anyone, you could see the album cover. My gosh, I had facial hair, and I was like, I don't understand. I cleaned up so nice for you people, and you still treat me like I'm unclean. And if I had just known then what I know now, is that once you start to do something, you know, the criticism starts and it just never stops. It just simply never stops. It just keeps going and going and going and going. And I probably wouldn't have taken it half as personally as I did in the first 3 years, but those first 3 years were so painful because I was trying to make everybody like me, and then I realized that well, that wasn't going to happen, and that I had to find my voice. I had to find my voice. I had to find my place. I had to find my expression, and I'll let you know when I find my voice, when I find my place, and I find my expression. But the one thing I've seen over a decade, and since the time those heartfelt songs were either written or compiled for the first record, is that I'm not half as nice as I was 10 years ago, but I'm also not half as scared as I was 10 years ago, and I'm not running around trying to beg the religious folk to like me or to love me or to accept me. That I knew from the beginning that my ministry was about reaching people who had been hurt by the religious folk and letting them know that God was real and God loved them, no matter what they looked like, what they act like, or how they sang or danced or dressed and expressed themselves. And despite the naysayers, and it feels like a lifetime of naysayers, I've had the most amazing decade anyone could dream possible. And I've lived the dream I had as a kid. I lived the dream I had as an adult. I've done so much more than I imagined. And in the end, it all feels new, it all feels fresh, and it all feels like something I have to conquer. I was so nervous when I started tonight, and I was like, dude, you've done thousands of these things. Each one's the first one, each one's like the last one you're ever going to do. It matters. And I thought about this show, and I thought about what I was going to say, and in the end, it came down to, I'll wait and see who's in the room, but I can't see who's in the room. You're all a bunch of heads. That's all I can see is a bunch of heads. And I don't know who I know and who I don't know, but I'm gathering from the people I can see. You are the people I know, and the people in the back cowering are the people that I don't know. And I guess I just want to say that this was a very selfish event for me. I didn't have a CD release party for Not Unclean, and I spent so much time trying to get shows and trying to get people to like me and accept me and listen to the music, and it was so poorly received. It's an honor just to have an opportunity just to sing this collection of songs that I sadly think are better than a lot of the songs I currently do. And so and I want to say that I felt really, really impressed that someone or someones would be here tonight. And anyone who knows me knows I do not do that. If I can do it, you can do it thing. I never do that. I never do the, I just want you to know, just be yourself. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. If I can do it, I can do it. I don't know if you can do it, because it was really hard to do it myself, and look how far I got. There's a dozen of you. But welcome to my failure. But